supported. Close your eyes. And like the leaves start to fall from the trees this time of year, let the things that you're worried about just fall to the side for a little while. Take a breath in and a breath out. Just to acknowledge and notice your breath as we begin. And then place a hand gently lower belly, beneath your belly button. And without trying to be too forceful, allow your hands to rise and fall. And I invite you to take a breath that is 6 counts in, a pause, and then 6 counts out. Do that again. And if that doesn't feel like there's enough space, then lengthen the breath to 8 counts in, 8 counts out. Feeling your breath inflate your chest and your abdomen, and then feeling them softly fall as you exhale. And I invite you to take a moment and release the worries that you have into the ground, with the sensation of the parts of your body that are resting firmly on the floor. The way that rainwater seeps slowly into the ground and disappears yet is nourishing. Allow the things that have made you heavy, or just the feeling of being busy and tired, slip off of you and be absorbed into the ground. Can you feel a little bit lighter as you take your next breath in? Gently lift your hands up and let your hands drop back behind your head. Palms are up. And if you have your head on a pillow, that's fine. Just let your hands fall where they will, reaching back. And then take another big breath in and a nice steady breath out. Gently bring your hands back up to center and move so that you hug your knees into your chest and grab the fronts of your legs with your hands. Feet are up off the floor. Gently rock a little bit side to side. Let your feet relax. Let your toes be soft. Recognize the sensation of your weight shifting from the back of one hip bone to the other side, going slowly enough that you can recognize that sensation. Keep your right leg drawn in, gently extend your left leg. And if you still have something supporting underneath your leg or your knees, if it feels okay, then just leave that there. Draw your collarbone wide and drop your shoulders into the floor beneath your back. And then gently squeeze your right leg into your chest. Imagining that you are finding some compression with the thigh on your abdomen. Giving yourself an internal massage as you hug your leg in tightly. Remembering to breathe. Gently guide your right knee across to your left hip for a gentle twist. As you keep your right shoulder pulling back and down. And if your head and your shoulders supported and that feels okay, you can keep them that way. If they're on the floor, you can really anchor your right shoulder down. Inhale and exhale. Come back up to center. Set your right foot on the floor. Gently draw your left knee into your chest. Hug your left knee in, and then extend your right leg long. Feeling more of your leg taking up space on the mat. Dropping your mid-back so that there's no space between the mid-back and the floor. Allow yourself to slow your breath. We're always busy. We get things done. We work hard. We serve. Give yourself the gift of being slow. Seeping into the ground. Gently draw your left knee across to your right hip. Taking this twist, allowing your hip to drop over. Left hip rolling up off the floor. Left shoulder staying pulling down and back. Stay here long enough that it was like you put some butter on something hot. And it's firm at first, and then it starts to soften, and then it starts to melt. Bring yourself back up to center. Gently extend your left leg out long. And take another stretch with your arms reaching back behind your head. This time your fingers spread out wide, reaching behind you, possibly pointing your toes, feeling the energy through your heels. Like if I came up to you to give you a little lift through your wrists, you got just a little bit longer. Good, then bring your hands back down by your sides, and I invite you to put your palms up. Let your ankles roll over to the edges of your mat. And if you're in any way uncomfortable, just adjust, shift. Go back to your breath. I'm placing in your hands the gift of gratitude in your left hand and the gift of being present right now in your right hand. the gift of gratitude in your left hand, and the gift of being present right now in your right hand. Close your fists, hold on to those gifts. Feel the gift dissolve and create warmth that spreads through your wrists. Relax your hand as the warmth rides up through your forearms and into your shoulders and your lower back. Bring your hands up in front of your face and rub them together. Bringing your hands into a motion where you rub your palms together like you were creating a fire. And then stop and lay your palms over your eyes. Allow the gift of gratitude seep into your mind. What are you thankful for today? Allow the gift of being present to seep into your being. Recognizing that you are more able to be present when you are thankful, and more thankful when you are present. Use your thumbs and your fingers and massage your temples. If you like it, then use your fingers, rub your scalp, give your head some massage like you're bringing new blood and fresh energy into your mind. Use your pointer fingers and make little circle pressure points with circular motions around your forehead. Use your fingers to massage the bridge of your nose and the place between your eyes. Cup your hands around the back of your neck and massage like you would a great friend who's had a long day. Rubbing the muscles of your neck. Allowing your fingers to put a little pressure into the space at the base of your skull. And then let your hands fall softly again at your side. Take your right arm out to the side, palm down. Bend your knees. If you had a pillow or your blanket underneath your knees, just move that over to the side. And gently roll over to your right side, laying your head on your right arm. Inhale, lift your left hand up towards the sky, and then drop your left shoulder back, letting your left hand fall to the floor, keeping your knees over to the right. So just finding that twist, but in a different way. Let your gaze fall to the left. With this gift of being present right now, what will you do with it? What is it possible that you've been missing that now with this gift you can be more attentive and aware of? Bring your left hand back over. Push yourself all the way onto your back and then over to the other side. Rolling over onto your left hip. Resting on your left hand. Taking your right arm up towards the sky. And then dropping your right hand back, your right shoulder to the floor. Keeping your knees to the left. When we do very slow yoga, maybe with your eyes closed, the research suggests that your brain goes to a place that's kind of like a conscious sleep. That you have theta waves that allow you to have deep rest, even while you're awake. And that happens when you focus on your breath and you allow your mind to just be fully present. What's happening in this body in this twist. Letting everything else run off of you and seep into the ground. Come back up to center. Roll over to your right side again and gently, slowly make your way up to a seat. Find your big pillow and possibly your block. Bend your right knee so that it's in front of you, and then put your left leg behind you. So I'm in this.
Right knee in front of me and left leg.
Yeah, there you go. So, right, and if that's too much, you could put your blanket up underneath the space of your left booty to have a little bit more support here. So blanket could go underneath the left hip so that you're more level. So blanket can go underneath this left hip so you're more level.
I can't get the left hip down.
But the left hip can be on the blanket then. So that,
Oh, gotcha.
so that your left hip can be
Okay,
elevated. There you go.
okay.
Because then it won't go down. Now, put your block underneath your pillow so you're bringing this whole space up. So I've got extra height by putting the block underneath my pillow.
Okay.
And then we're going to walk our chest forward, hug the pillow, and drop your forehead down. If you need to turn your head a little bit to the side to be more comfortable, you can bunch up your pillow in a way that feels good. You can take your arms out in front if you like and just rest your chin. I want you to look for the sensation that's happening in your low back. And if you don't feel that, try walking your fingertips forward a little bit. Going to your breath, inhale, maybe for 5, 6, or 8 seconds or counts, and then exhale. Walk your chest back up. Undo your left leg. You can move your things a little bit out of the way, or just bring them over on top of your left leg so that now you can fold across towards your left foot. So I've got both the block and the pillow providing some support. My left leg out to the side, just reaching for my left foot, my left ankle. And if you don't reach for that foot, maybe your strap might give you that little bit of extra anchor right here around this foot.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Okay, so my left leg is out.
Okay, I got it now.
And I'm basically just doing this, but
Yeah.
instead of having all that strain in the low back, And all these supports are going to just hold up my chest
Gotcha.
and allow me to just drop into that left leg.
Okay.
As you inhale, know that you have a purpose, and it's a purpose that may change tomorrow. Be willing to be present and still, to listen, to absorb, knowing that you are important and you are loved. In fact, you are cherished. And in that way, can you cherish your body, cherish your mind, cherish the spirit that is uniquely you. Gently lift your chest. We'll bend our left knee in and swing our right leg around. So now we're going to set up for what's called fallen deer is what we're doing. Is the name of this pose, where we have our right knee bent behind us and your right hip might come up a little bit, so right blanket can support the right side. So left knee is in front, right leg goes around. Doesn't have to be real tight, it can be as far apart as you like. And then create that supported space in front of you with your stuff. Fold it up if you need to, stand it on its edge, whatever you need to do so that you can drape your body forward, keeping your hips back so you get that opening through your low back. Knowing that when you have stillness like this, you also have clarity. Because if we're going fast, like we're going down the highway, all we see are the big signs in front of us. We miss all the small details right out the window. We're going by too fast. So allow awareness to come into what your low back feels like. Allow your awareness to be softening your jaw and that space between your eyes. Can you soften your elbows so that your chest can melt a little bit more? Can you slow your breathing? Slowly walk yourself back up. We'll swing our right leg around. I still have my left knee bent the same way. Shift at the waist towards your right leg and then create that support over your right leg so that you can fold forward. And if your hands feel like they don't have a place to go, you could use the strap around your right foot, give you an anchor, or you could just hug the edge of your pillow. Can you bring your toes active up towards the sky on your right foot so that you're finding some length through the back of your leg as well as through your hips? Settle here. And I invite you to think now about something that you're proud of. Let's start with something small that you did recently. Perhaps something that you created, or a way that you served, or a way that you managed. Think of that thing that you are proud of right now. And let the smile on your face come from the inside, from that feeling of satisfaction and gratitude that you had that opportunity. Not about being acknowledged, but just about you having had the opportunity. Walk your chest back up. We're going to do pigeon on the right, but we'll get there from the floor. So now all I have to do is just kind of drop my right knee down and scoot my left leg back. I turned around to the front of the mat, right knee down. Go ahead and use your props to the best advantage you can. So I'm going to take my pillow in front of me as a place to relax my chest. You could use your block there too. And I've got the blanket up underneath my right hip. And if you have something that has essential oil on it and you want to put it, kind of in front of your pillow so you get that aromatherapy as you drop down into your pigeon, you can do that as well. We won't worry today about whether your leg is parallel to the front of the mat. Just go to a place where you have an opening sensation. If the flower stays all closed up and never blooms, then the next thing that happens after the flowers bloom is that it bears fruit. We have to go through the process of opening in order to have that bearing of fruit. Let yourself open, soften your chest. Notice about how many seconds your breath is in and out, and try to double that amount of time. If not by count, it doesn't have to be perfect, just by sensation. Good. Come back up to center. Lift your chest. Hint your fingers. Take a moment here, lifting nice and long through your spine. Your eyes can still be closed. And then drop onto your right hip. Gently roll your feet over so now both feet are facing forward. We'll do the left side in a moment and go to the other direction of the mat. But let's take a moment first and just fold forward. Releasing your back. So props help. You could use your pillow and your block in some combination. So sometimes it's nice to have a place for your head. So you might get this to be a place for your head, like this. Or It could be nice to support your chest. You got a nice big support there, Chris. So then you might take this blanket and the block and put them up against you. So I've got the block this way up against me, and then I can create this support folding forward here. If it feels good to have your hands anchor on your feet or on the floor in front of you, or they can just hug that pillow. Let your chin soften to your chest. If you need the opening in your back, perhaps you should walk your fingers forward, almost like you were going to lift your sitting bones up off the floor. See if you can bring yourself in such a deep breath that you get to a yawn. That feeling of release if you yawn. Loving to your body, gentle to your spirit, compassionate and present with your purpose. Walk your fingers back up. Move your things to the opposite end of your mat. So we'll just bring our left leg around and set ourselves up for pigeon on the other side from the floor. So I was just turning towards my left leg. Grab that blanket, put it underneath your left hip, or your towel. You can roll it up as much as you need to. Create as much of a stack as you'd like so that you can find an anchor. Maybe turning your head to the side. Maybe having the pillow underneath your chest or your arms. If today you have not stopped and been thankful that you are in a safe place, that your home is a place where you are able to be free, able to make your own choices, and that you have shelter and comfort. I invite you to have gratitude right now for this most basic of things. Breathe here. One more breath. And then gently lift your chest, press your hands down towards the floor, even if you have a prop there. Find some length with your chest lifted, a little bit more intense hip opening through your left hip. Just lift your chest, good. And then drop onto your hip. Come all the way around. And this time we'll slide down onto our belly. And if you have your aromatherapy and you want to put that near the front of whichever way you're going to face on your mat, just slide all the way down onto your belly. And it might be nice to have your towel or your blanket to support your head at the top of the mat. We'll do half frog. So simply pulling the right knee up towards your right elbow. If you can, flex your foot on your right leg. And draw your knee away from your body so you're not hugging in, but push that leg away and try to extend your ankle so that you get a 90-degree turn from the lower leg to the upper thigh. Take your gaze down or to the left. You can support your head in your hands. Many of us feel gratitude, but not many of us show gratitude. We may feel very thankful, but what are we doing with that? Take your right leg back down. Don't move off your belly, just draw your left knee up, so switch sides. Find half frog on the left leg, flexing your left foot. Supporting your head with your hands, and if you can, turn your gaze to the right. Getting some opening through your back and your hip. Allow no space right now except for things which bring you back to your gifts of being thankful and present. If those are the colors that are the base of your palette, there's no room for anything else other than those different shades of being grateful and being present. Take one more breath and then gently bring your left leg back to meet the right. Put your forearms on the mat and lift your chest, Sphinx pose. Put your hands down and lift your elbows if you can for seal once you get here. It's a little bit more intense through the back and your shoulders. Anxious, huh? And then lay all the way back down. Put your hands closer to your armpits and push up and back into your child's pose, keeping your hands right where they are, extended long out in front of you. And if it feels too much effort to get your head to the floor today, grab a block or your blanket or your pillow and just put it underneath your head. She finally had to do it, huh? If you want to walk your fingertips forward in your child's pose, lifting your hips just a little bit, and then dropping your armpits and your elbows towards the floor. This puppy dog pose, so your fingers go forward, feet stay on the floor, but your hips lift. Just gets a bigger stretch through your shoulders and your armpits. If that doesn't feel right, just stay in your child's pose. And then gently we'll make our way to hands and knees and set ourselves up for our final rest. So I invite you to cover your eyes. You can really focus on your breath. Use a washcloth or anything that you have that you might be able to cover your eyes. And I also invite you, if you have something that it would be comfortable for you to fold and lay along your spine, putting that at the base. And then I've got just this, not too thick, so it's not going to really be uncomfortable, just a little elevation through the chest. Lay yourself back onto that rolled blanket or towel, supported all the way to your head, and adjust in a way so that that doesn't feel uncomfortable. If it feels uncomfortable, you don't have to do that. Cover your eyes. Like you were blocking out all your senses. That we have this time, like when it's nighttime and everything takes rest. Then when we're done with our rest, we have energy and clarity and alignment from the inside. If you notice that you're not breathing while you're here, add breath to your Savasana pose. Inhale and exhale. Add gratitude to your Savasana pose for the people that help you. Take the gift from your right hand of being present, and when you need to be present, simply put your hand into a fist to remind yourself. You don't need to always be looking straight ahead. You can go slow enough so that you notice what's right here. On your next breath, let your arms float up above your head and take an active stretch, fingers to toes. Gently roll over to your side when you're ready. Take your eye covering off, but keep your eyes closed. And if you're on your side, just pause there for a moment. Take your seat very slowly. And once you arrive at your seat, I invite you to just settle into your breath. Feeling how your chest may rise and fall. Softening your jaw. Softening your thoughts. Like a warm blanket that's wrapped around you. Knowing that when we open our eyes and grace one another with our final namaste, we have shared this breath and this moment thousands of miles apart. Perhaps part of our purpose is to help others feel connected. hands together to heart center. With gratitude for this opportunity for us to stop and breathe together, the light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.
Namaste.